Hey everybody, welcome back. So I'm really excited about this tutorial because Dash is so powerful. There is so many things you can do with Dash Plotly. And in this case, we're going to focus on the Dash Cytoscape styling. So we're going to see how we can create, change the nodes from circles to squares and to diamonds, how we can add images to the nodes, how we can change the edges, these links that connect between the nodes to have different widths and have numbers on them and have different colors. Really, I'm amazed every time I go into the Dash code with so many things that you can do with just pure Python. Okay, so this is a continuation from the last week's video. You don't have to see it in order to understand this, but it would make things a little bit easier. We're going to go over the styling section chapter of Dash Cytoscape. We went over about half of these chapters, and now we're going to go over styling, which is this one. So we'll definitely use this documentation. It's very good, and it's easy to understand what they're talking about. But I'm going to summarize it in a video here for you. Like always, go into my GitHub under the video. Make sure to download this we're going to use today. We're going to use this styling.py file if you are using a Python IDE like Atom, Visual Studio's, PyCharm, or the Dash styling Jupyter Dash. Download this one if you're using Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Dash, which I'm going to be using right here. Okay, and like like last week, here is some video sections. If it's going to be under the video, if you want to jump to a different section, feel free to just click on that section and you can see that over again, so you don't have to see the whole video over again. All right, let's get started. So you downloaded the code and you should have it open up right here. We're going to create this, right? It looks messy. It looks like this network doesn't really look that good, but it's on purpose because I want to teach you many different things, so you can have control and a lot of flexibility on the networks that you build with Dash Cytoscape. Okay, so let's do this. Let's move this aside, make this a little bit smaller, like this. All right, okay, so obviously we're importing the libraries here, and then we're reading this data frame from GitHub, which is this one, the raw data frame that I created. It's fake, starting the app here. And then the difference between the last video is I'm taking these elements out. All these elements right here, all the way up here, they're inside Cytoscape. They're right here. Right, you have to assign them to the elements parameter. I just took them out so it's cleaner, so not everything is inside here. And it's just a list of elements. All these dictionaries are 6 dictionaries for 6 nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there's 5 dictionaries for the 5 different edges, the 5 different links, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the last thing is this drop down again is from the last video. You can click on the link above if you want to see it. I'm not going to go over this right now. This drop down will allow you to change the nodes any way you want, or at least in 6 different ways. So this drop down and this callback is in the last video. I'm explaining in the last video. Really, today we're going to go over the style sheets, right? How do you create classes and how do you style your network pretty much any way you want, all right? So let's see how we do this. Style sheets. In style sheets, inside style sheets, you can see it's a list of dictionaries. All these dictionaries goes into this one list of style sheet, right? And these dictionaries can be divided into 2 separate categories. One category is the group selectors. You see, these 2 are group selectors, and the other category is class selectors. Group selectors, so only 2, group selectors and class selectors. Group selectors are used to annotate or to add text around the edges or around the nodes or above them, right? So see this, for example. If I take this out, hashtag this out, this is a node group selector, and I run it, let's run this again, you'll see that I don't have any text above the nodes anymore, right? The text disappeared, there's no text. If I put it back in, now you'll see that the text comes back to the nodes. right? Same thing with the edges. This is a group selector for the edge. Take this out, and now you'll see that I don't have those numbers anymore. 1, 2, nothing. There's no numbers here anymore. But if I put it back, you'll see the numbers. So how do we define group selectors? I created this document for you. That's going to be under the video as well. So feel free to use it. And it's easier to explain. I wrote this down for you. Group selectors. Group selectors is a dictionary of two possible keys, selector and style, right? Just like you can see here, either selector and style. There's only two keys inside this full dictionary, right? A selector key has the value of either node or edge. So you cannot have the value of selector can only be edge or node. It can't be anything else. And this tells the group selector what we're talking about. We're going to talk about the nodes or we're going to talk about the edges. And then the value of the style, remember style is the second key that can exist within the group selector dictionary. The value of the style is a new dictionary in itself. This is a new dictionary right here. Where the key is label. You can have this as content as well, but the key is, I like it to put it as label. And the value of the label is what will be displayed right above or next to the element, right, on the screen. So the value of this label and the value of this label is what we refer to as this text here or this text here. Now, what I mean by that, look at this. This value of data label that belongs to the nodes, you can see if we go to data label, go up, 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 nodes right here. This is the value of the data label is this, right? So this is the value that's going to show or not show on the screen because this is what we put here in the styles in the group selector. Now the value of this label is data weight. Data weight is actually right here, data weight. This is the key inside that data. So this actually belongs to an edge. And we know it belongs to an edge because we have to put this. We have to put selector edge, and then we put what we want to display or not display. It doesn't have to be weight. I can display target. Let's display target. Let's put target here. Target, save, run it. And now you'll see that instead of numbers, we have the target, V1, V2, PO, P3, which is right this. Doesn't make sense, you don't really need it, but you can do that if you want. You can change it. Same thing here, label. This doesn't have to be label right here. We don't have to put this on top of the nodes. We can put anything else. We can put ID if we want, and it will represent ED, VP1, it will present all that. So let's change that to, instead of label, ID, save, run it. And now you'll see instead of executive director, it'll put the ID, which is ED. All right, so you can put really anything you want. In fact, what's cool about this, you can create more. You can create more keys inside the data dictionary. Let's say you want to create another key that says just I don't know, name, right? Name is the key, and the value would be, let's put Adam. And I'll save this. And now instead of label, I want to have name in here. Name, save this. And now you'll see that above here we have Adam because that's the value of the selector group inside this label. All right, so you can do really anything you want, which is, I find, very, very cool. Let's take this out. Okay, save this. All right, so these are group selectors. Very important to know the difference between group selectors are dictionaries very similar to class selectors. They both have selector and style. The main difference is that in group selector, you can only put node or edge, and then you already know this, all right? Okay, so let's go into class selectors. Class selectors, let me save this. Class selectors are dictionaries with selector and style as well that will help define or style the network, your Dash Cytoscape network, right? So we use class selectors to say, give me purple instead of gray. Give me a green diamond instead of a gray circle. Give me an image inside of here. So this is how you use. This is what you use class selectors for. All right. the best way to understand this is like this. Class selectors is a dictionary of two possible keys, a selector and a style. The selector, the value of the selector, right here, the value of the selector can be any class that you assign to the elements class. So you can put anything you want in here to the value of the selector, but eventually it ties back to the class that you assign to the elements, right? Let's see this. Where is the elements? All our elements are in here, right? All our elements are in here, and here we have classes. You see there's a class here, there's a class here. So if we assign purple to this, this is what should go inside the class, the value of the selector, purple, right? If we assigned square here to the class parameter or the class key of the elements, then this is what should go inside here. We should put here square, right? This is the class selector inside the style sheets. All right, so let's see an example. With example, it always works best. Let's take a look here. Start from this. It's a lot easier when you start from this, and then we'll go back to the elements. So I'm going to say I want to define a class selector purple. I'm going to say the selector is the key, always selector or style, and the value is going to be purple, dot purple. Don't forget the dot purple. And then I'm going to say the class that has the name purple, the style is going to be like this. The style is going to be background color purple and the line color purple, right? So now I know that this is the name of the class. So if I go back, if I want to make sure that this style is applied in here, I got to assign this purple to the classes somewhere here, right? So I'm assigning purple right here, and I'm actually assigning purple to the edges as well, right? Purple to the classes of the edges. So that's why you see here, you have purple on the first ID, which is right here, the executive director, and you have purple between the source ED and the target VP1 on this edge right here, right? So you can assign whatever you want, and you can change the names. You can say, you know what, I want to call this, I want to be foolish, and I want to say this is purple, but I want to call this my color. I just want to call it my color. So just this is the class name now is my color. So wherever you want to put my color, just change it. I want to put this here, and I want to put my color here, right? And now when I changed it, now you'll see that my color is still purple because that's the style, but the name of the class is my color. All right. Let's see one more example. Okay, so we have purple. Another example is square, right? I'm defining this class as square, dot square, and the shape is going to be square. So if I want to assign this square class, where am I assigning? I'm assigning this square class to two different nodes, right? To the Vice President Sarah and to Vice President Charlotte, right? But this one is black, so we'll see soon why this one is black. This is down below in conditional classes. So both these two are squares because both these two are squares. Okay, let's go into the next one. Here we have square, square, square. Where do we see it? Square, square, square. Okay, here we're going to have an image. This is another one, a single selector where we're going to define the selector. We're going to call it my image, and we're going to say the style is width and height is 100, and the background image is this background image. And where do I assign my image? I'm assigning it to this node right here, which is a program associate ln. So I'm assigning it right here, ln class as my image. All right. How did I do that? I did that. First of all, background image is a list of the string, and I put this JPG inside my assets folder. So if you go back to the GitHub, you'll see that this file is in the same folder where we have the assets folder. And then if you click on the assets folder, you'll see the image. Here is the image. All right. So that's why I put dot / assets in the image, and that is how it can read it. Now the image is exactly 100 pixels over 100 pixels, and that's why I did here width 100 and width and height 100. I can change this, but it won't look really good. Let me run this. You see now it looks kind of chueco, kind of off. All right, let's save this back and put it back to 100. So this is how you put images. Now you might be asking, where is the line color from? How do I know these keys? Background color, shape, width. Where do you get these from? Well, you get these from right here. Going to, if you want to look at nodes parameters or defining parameters, open this link and you'll see node defining parameters. Give it 1 second to load. Right here, node body, and you'll see there's a width parameter, there's height, there's shape. You can do also background color, background blacken, gradient. There's all different kinds, border width. These are all different kinds of keys that you can put inside of here, inside of the style, right? This is from JavaScript. All right, the next thing is, let me see. The next thing is we're going to define a multi-class. So here we have in this class, in this program officer Elizabeth right here, Elizabeth, we have two classes. We have green, diamond. There's only a space. There's no comma. It's only space between the two words. Now, the best way to define those classes is just create two different class selectors, one for green and one for diamond. So if you click on green, you know that this is the style and this is the style of the diamonds, and that's why you have here green diamond. So this is the best way. You can actually combine it into like one class selector. I think you do green, comma, dot, diamond. You can actually combine it and put this style inside of here, but I recommend against it because it causes a lot. Never mind. It didn't work for me. I saw that it might cause some problems down the road, so it's better probably to do it this way. But if you prefer to do it in one, you can do it in one. Okay, so this is a multi-class selector. Now, the last thing I'm going to go over is the conditional styling. Conditional styling, what we have here, is like this. And you can read more about it down here below in the styling section under, I can't remember, styling edges, I think, one of these. So how do we do conditional styling? The conditional styling is, again, selector and style. The style is any style you want. Here I'm putting background color black, and here I'm putting width 20. But it refers to different things. So here I'm saying if it's a list, it's a string, and inside the string there's a list, or at least these brackets, right? And I'm saying if the weight of this selector is bigger than 3. Now where does the weight come from? Weight comes from right here, right? So now we know that this selector, right, this class refers to the edge, to the edges, because the weight only belongs inside the edge elements. So I'm saying if the weight is above 3, these two, then the width is going to be 20. So for these two, VP1 to PO2, VP1 to PO2, and VP2 to PA, to program associate, the width will be 20 of this line instead of the regular width right here, right? This is what this means. Width over 3. If this is the case, then the width is 20. Here I'm saying if the label is something. What does a label refer to? The selector of the label. You can see that edges don't have any labels. This is the label, right? So if the label, which is this value right here and this value right here and right here, if the label is, I think this is jQuery, I'm not sure, but if this means string contains, if the label contains RAH, then the style of that node will be black. And this one contains RAH in Sarah. You can see RAH, and this is why this is black. So it's really cool because you can do many different things. You can have a network of like 1,000 different nodes and edges, and instead of defining one by one like this and defining one by one like this classes, you can just do conditional, and you can say if I have 800 nodes that are whose ID is above 4, then all those nodes will be the color black. So it gives you, and the same with edges. If I have edges with the weight, or you can change anything. Instead of weight, you can put let's say height. right? If you do height, just make sure that you add here, you either change this to height or you just add another height key, right? Like this. And then define it. Height could be, I don't know, 1 or 2. It can be letters as well. Whatever you want. This Dash Cytoscape conditional styling will allow you to do. Let's go back. Okay. All right. So this is it. This is all about the styling. If you want to learn more about the styling, go here. The Dash gives you a lot of different examples of things you can do with the nodes and with the edges. It's really cool. They have really good documentation here, so I would really recommend it. If you have any questions, like always, please feel free to post them under the YouTube video. If you want to support this education and my mission to teach data visualization or help people build careers in data visualization, you can click on the link above for Patreon. I'll be grateful to you. It will mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Always remember, we're better together, so help each other out. And never keep practicing and never give up. Have a good one. Bye-bye.